Hey class, welcome to A Brat Sex Education, where we discuss everything you wish you learned in school. I'm your host and professor of period products, Cin. And today my co-host is still Brooklyn.
Hey,
Woo!
never left.
You learned you did. No, you learned a lot in the last one.
I did. Yeah, I'm still recovering from that. But I'm saving it all up here for my quiz.
Nice.
Yeah.
This podcast is a sex education resource intended for an adult audience. We'll be having real, inclusive conversations about sexuality, pleasure, relationships, gender, identity, and more. Some topics may be considered explicit or sensitive. Our goal is to break the stigma and provide the kind of sex education many of us never got. We're learning too, and we're bringing what we learned straight to the classroom so we can all grow together. You deserve to know what this is about so you can make an informed choice to listen. Or not. That's what consent looks like, even here. Are you ready for part 2?
I am ready.
Awesome.
I think I am ready. As ready as I'll ever be.
So part 2 is the business of bleeding. We're going to be talking about the history of how people have managed their menstruation over time. And then the second part is going to be sociology, where we're going to be talking about how public perception of periods have changed over time. And we're going to look at advertising to do that.
Okay.
All right. So history, from rags to retail, a global history of menstruation management. So in ancient times, there were a lot of different methods, obviously, because there were a lot of different cultures out there and a lot of different resources around them. So in the Stone Age, pads were made of leather, linen, wrapped moss, and sand. People in this time period were menstruating really early. The age range of periods for this time was between 7 to 13 years old.
Oh,
So it was really early.
interesting.
Yeah. Super, super early. For the Paleo-Indian period, which is in ancient North Americans between 12,000 and 8,000 BC, they used pads made of buffalo hide and moss. For ancient Egypt, they would make makeshift tampons out of papyrus paper.
Did that cause toxic shock syndrome?
It probably did.
Oh my gosh.
We don't know for sure, obviously, because we don't have a record of it, but it's likely.
Well, and they probably didn't know exactly what was happening.
Right. That could have just been like, someone put a curse on me.
Right.
You
Yeah.
were
Well, they didn't have blood pressure measuring machines.
Yeah. They're like, my palms are red. It's probably too hot outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I burned it on the sand or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right. If you are listening to the podcast, wherever you get your podcast, in the description, I've been linking the presentations. And so for this specific presentation, you'll see that there are hieroglyphics on the side. That's the hieroglyphic for menstruation. What they called it at the time, I'm going to spell it out because they didn't use vowels, so we don't know how it was actually said.
Okay.
But it's H as in Harry, S as in Sam, M as in Mary, and N as in Nancy, HSMN. We think it might be Hesman, but we're not sure.
I have a really important question. Do you think in ancient Egypt, if they got toxic shock syndrome from the papyrus tampon, they were in denial about it? Am I allowed to come back on your show?
Sure.
Okay.
I do know in ancient Egypt, they were a little more socially equal.
Cleopatra was like legendary.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that I'm basing that on. I don't know.
In ancient Greece, they used homemade wrapped lint around wood or a rag. And they used the lint wrapped around wood for rituals and ceremonies.
I do love that they're reusing the blood for rituals. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The reason why we know that they would use these homemade wrapped lints around wood is because of Hippocrates. He
wrote about it?
He wrote about it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. In ancient equatorial Africa, they would use grass mats and rolled up grass.
And this was to create pads?
Yes.
Okay. Exterior.
Now we're going to go into the Middle and the Modern Ages. So the Middle Age is also known as the medieval time. This is between the 5th and the 14th century. And the Modern Ages is between the 15th and the 19th century. So we're covering a lot of centuries in here. This is the time where religion started popping off again.
Okay.
You know, that Catholicism,
Like specifically Christianity.
Christianity. Yeah. So there was a lack of understanding of biology and religious influences that led to the menstrual taboo in the Middle Ages. During this time, people would just use folded up cloth rags as DIY pads. In the modern age, which is again the 15th and the 19th century, we would have cotton and flannel rags. Eventually, in the 19th century, rubber aprons were invented, which were essentially just, well, you know what an apron looks like
Like one that you wear?
for cooking.
Yeah.
The apron, but not the one that's on the top part, just the one that's on the bottom half. Now, make that rubber and then flip it around in your back, and so it doesn't stain anything.
Is that the picture or no?
No, that's a different
Oh, that's
thing.
a belt. Okay, so the apron, the part like between your legs is also rubber?
Yeah, it was. It was
So
rubber.
the whole thing is rubber.
Yeah.
It sounds very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was super uncomfortable and
Like that
very
would hurt
unpleasant.
so badly. It would be like rubbing your legs raw.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that they would use is menstrual belts. It was like more of a contraption. But then the rags are the things that hold. So it's like a belt that you would wear instead.
And it clips on
Mm-hmm.
to the rags.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that one doesn't look super comfortable either.
Yeah.
I feel like we almost took a step backwards.
Right.
Like where's the papyrus tampon? I feel like that's better than what we're doing now.
Right. But this is, again, only up until the 19th century.
I'm so grateful that I was born during the era that I am. I know the world is crazy right now, but whew, this is rough.
Right. I agree. The term on the rag is rumored to have come up between the late 18th to 19th century
That makes sense.
to describe like when someone was on the period.
Yeah.
So that's where that term comes from.
I also don't love that term.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, they were
a good
actually
thing.
using rags.
Right.
So-
Well, I would like, can we be like, the sacrifice is upon us? Like something cool instead of on the rag.
Right. All right. So the origin of disposable pads. So this is roughly around the late 1800s. The first commercially available disposable pad was from Southalls, which is a UK brand. That came out around 1880, but only in the UK. The first American pads were Lister towels by Johnson & Johnson in 1896, but they weren't as accessible.
That's also crazy that it took 16 years for that technology to reach the US.
Mm-hmm. But again, it didn't even fully reach the US by
Right.
that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like maybe only big cities.
Yeah. What really inspired the creation of pads itself was cellucotton bandages that were used during World War I by French nurses. They would use those bandages for menstruation. Like they would just get them from the supply and then
Like
use.
these were bandages used for like bullet wounds or something?
Yeah, like for wounds
Oh.
and stuff. So they would get those and they would use them for menstruation. And so that was what inspired the disposable pad.
Leave it to women to have to solve their own problems.
Right.
Of course. Several men did die because women were on their periods and we didn't have enough bandages, but it was to be expected.
Yeah. They were going to bleed out anyways.
Yeah.
That wound wasn't going to heal. Kotex was actually the first company to make a widely available pad in 1921, and it was first made with wood pulp.
So like sawdust? Like what is that? What is wood pulp?
I don't know.
I could have Googled it on my phone. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
asking
Oh, yeah.
you.
You can look up wood pulp for me.
Okay. So wood pulp is a fibrous material produced by breaking down wood chips, trees, or sawdust through mechanical grinding or chemical cooking, separating cellulose fibers from lignin. So yes, that's like what they make paper, cardboard, and other like products out of. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. The other thing to note about these is they didn't have the adhesive strip or the wings at this point like we do have now.
Oh, right.
So they would pin them like with.
That makes sense, yeah.
Imagine just
Well,
getting
if-
stabbed in the thigh or the
Right.
crotch.
One that was like still the better option than like rubbing your legs raw with a rubber apron. Yeah.
Adhesive strips and wings were added later, And then if, again, you are listening to the podcast and wanted to see the presentation, link in the description. But there are, and this is going to apply for the next several slides. Here, there's an example of a Kotex ad and a Lister's sanitary towel ad, and these are in the early 1900s.
What a time to invest.
Look, and these ads look complicated.
Yeah.
Ads back in the day were long. I was like doing research. I was like, they have so much information. It's like a lot of.
There's several paragraphs. There's a short essay on there.
Yeah, you go.
And that whatever that is looks like a QR code. I know it's not, but it does look like one.
Oh yeah. The next is the invention of the modern day tampon. The tampon was created by a man named Earl Haas. He patented the first modern tampon and applicator. So he wanted to create something better than rags because he noticed his wife would always be upset and stressed about it.
He didn't hate women.
Yeah, he was from the Midwest.
He had nothing else to do then.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But he was a doctor too.
Okay, that makes sense. So he understood anatomy and things.
And so the idea for the tampon originated from one of his friends in California who would use a sponge to absorb the menstrual flow in the vaginal canal. So when he heard of that, he was like, oh my God, that's a neat idea. Maybe we can use it with cotton. And so he ended up creating the tampon and then getting the patent for it. No one was interested in his patent, though. Like, he could not sell it.
Yeah. Women, well, they don't have money.
Yeah. However, a woman by the name of Gertrude Tenderlich bought the patent in 1933. She was a German immigrant. She bought the patent and created the Tampax company. She was the first president of the Tampax company.
She's like real life Barbie.
Yeah.
I need a Gertrude Barbie.
So he sold it to her, and she used to make the first Tampax in her home using a sewing machine and Dr. Haas's compression machine that he used.
That is the applicator?
The thing that would compress the cotton to put in the applicator.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so that's where your tampons are coming from.
Yay.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Next is sociology, design, discretion, and power. How advertising menstrual products reflect social control. So for these slides, it's actually going to be mostly images, but we'll talk through them.
Okay.
This is specifically in advertising in America and Europe, UK.
Western
world.
Okay.
These are specific ads in the 1940s. So in the 1940s and 50s, campaigns really focused on discretion. As you can see on the presentation, there's a bulk of text, but it gives you like a little story. Like this one, it's a picture of a mother and a daughter. This one says, tell her things, a sense of camaraderie will bloom. Advise her about difficult days, for instance. The difference a really comfortable napkin makes. Explain that Kotex sanitary napkins are less bulky and naturally less apt to rub and chafe. And tell her, too, that she need never feel self-conscious with Kotex. Because Kotex has flat pressed ends that never show, never give away her secret. Be a real help to her, and she'll get in the habit of confiding in you.
There's like a whole commercial script in there.
Yeah. Why was I born a woman?
Lamenting.
Another one. So these are just ads from the 19...
Oh, I like that one that says, stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Why is it?
The one you were just on.
Oh.
It's like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. I certainly will not.
Oh. Ever get mad at the world at the unfairness of your lot? Sounds like so.
No, it's like nothing has changed.
You know this was written by a man. Ever hear a voice inside you whisper, better not go out. You won't have any fun. That's anxiety. That's depression. That's something else entirely.
This is a Wellbutrin ad after all. Never mind.
And do you ever wonder why some girls always seem to keep smiling no matter what time of the month it is?
That is a man for sure that wrote this.
If you could only learn their secret. Well, you're not too old to learn. Wow.
Ooh, you learn how to be gay.
Yeah. What does it say?
It says, what you need is a lesson on how to grow a crop of confidence, how to be gay, carefree.
Oh, yeah.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Gay meaning happy, but still funny in this context.
I know. I love it.
Above all, remember, an ounce of confidence is worth a pound of makeup. And to be sure of yourself on quote unquote difficult days, you need the kind of confidence Kotex sanitary napkins give. First of all, Kotex ends are flat and tapered. They never give your secret away, never make you self-conscious or uneasy. That's one worry off your mind. And you know better than anyone else how important comfort is. So do as most girls do and choose Kotex. All those millions can't be wrong. You see, Kotex is made in soft folds, so naturally it's less bulky, less apt to rub and chafe. Remember this too. There's a world of confidence knowing that the new quote-unquote safety shield in every Kotex pad provides added absorption, gives you extra margin of safety. All in all, is it a wonder that Kotex is given the most popular sanitary napkin made? It helps give girls the comfort and confidence she needs to put a smile on her lips, a song in her heart. Be confident, comfortable, carefree with Kotex. That was the 1942 ad, I think. This one I thought was funny. It's a little ad below the ad. It's like, if you're a girl and you don't know anything about your period, write a letter and we can give you a free copy of what to do in your period. And I think they would give them like a period calendar too. So it was like
Also, they can track their cycle?
Yeah, like so women could track their cycle. So it was a little how-to guide for questions that no one would answer.
Right. You weren't allowed to talk about, I guess.
Right. So this is one of the ads. Before this, a lot of the ads used to feature doctors or elderly women.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it got to a point, everyone knew what sanitary pads were. Then it shifted into discretion. Like, oh, we don't say pads or anything like that. Also, Walt Disney created a cartoon called The Story of Menstruation. And that was played for educational purposes for children.
Like, who was in it?
It was a cartoon. It was a full-on cartoon.
Of like a human?
I watched like the first few minutes. It shows you a baby girl, and then it goes into the brain and it shows the pituitary gland, and it's like, this is the thing that makes all the hormones in the body that helps you grow and all your life. And then it goes to telling you about the uterus and menstruation and how periods work and stuff like that. So it's actually like a
But
detailed...
not like Disney characters, but very illustrated.
It's the baby is like it looks like an illustrated Disney.
So cute.
Character-ish.
Love a Disney film.
It's weird though because it's like a bald baby, but it kind of has hair, but it has like a huge forehead.
And I was like, this is an ugly kid.
Yeah. So these are the 1940s. So obviously at this time, there's still menstrual taboo, so they didn't talk about it. So that's why discretion was like the main focus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we go between the 1970s and 1990s. So
yeah, I remember a lot of the blue liquid being poured into the pads.
So in the 1970s, the femcare is what they call it. The femcare industry capitalized on the second wave feminism movement. So they would have advertisements that would say things like, you're free, or just have more messaging that was aligned with the feminist movement.
Oh, like free your bra, wear a pad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that specifically, but like kind of with that.
Yeah.
In that connotation. But then in 1972, the National Association of Broadcasters officially lifted the ban of advertising period products on television.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a ban.
Yeah.
But I mean, that makes sense. I guess that there must have been bans because like now I feel like there's so many Cialis and Viagra ads. I mean, I don't watch normal TV, but I feel like that didn't happen. And then it was like, that was all the ads on TV.
Well, the ads were banned because they were considered obscene.
Yeah, I feel like old men having boners was also considered obscene. And now they're like, everybody get on Cialis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was also interesting too, since period products and television came up around the same time. And you can advertise like period products on television.
That is an interesting point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even though the ban was lifted in 1972, the word period wasn't used in TV until 1985.
And does that mean ads or like TV shows?
No, like an ad.
Okay.
So this wasn't a TV ad. Courtney Cox was actually in the TV ad, and this was pre-Friends.
Oh, wow.
The interesting about this is that this was also the time where they're really trying to emphasize you can be active while you're on your period.
Oh, yeah. She's like in a gym locker room. Yeah. So I can,
She's wearing her like jazzercising outfit.
yeah.
And
Interesting. Tying it back to the last episode, I've never seen an ad on a television or streaming service for a menstrual cup
yeah. I feel like I only see them.
on social media.
Yeah, I only see them on social media. When it comes to the blue liquid, began in the 80s, but it was more popularly used in the 90s. Red was considered too graphic because it was too close to blood. And so advertisers were trying to find an alternate color to use, but they thought other colors were too similar to other bodily functions that they didn't want to use it. So they chose blue instead. And another reason why they chose blue is because it's associated with cleanliness and cleaning products.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of like color psychology with it.
So they were trying to emphasize clean and like purity with the blue. The thing that is a problem is it continued to emphasize like keep periods hidden. And it kept it like shameful. There were a lot of people on the internet when I was researching it that would say, I thought my period was going to be blue because all the ads I saw growing up as a kid had blue liquids.
Yeah, I mean, I guess before it hits the oxygen, it was blue.
So it was very confusing for some young people, which is understandable.
Right.
If you genuinely have no one that's going to tell you anything about periods,
Right.
and all you have to reference is an ad, and you're like, it's blue, then it's just like, oh my God, blue stuff's going to come out of my mouth.
Right. Like in the dishwasher ads, like the spaghetti is red. So you're like, okay, this makes sense. They're showing me the real deal.
Yeah. In the 1980s, there were a few industry shakeups. There were just a lot more competitors coming up with different products for tampons and pads. But also, this is when the toxic shock scandal happened, which I actually have the case and like the scenario.
I was like, what scandal?
Yeah. So
okay.
This is when actually toxic shock syndrome was not discovered, but made widely public.
Something happened where they started putting the label on everything, which is what freaked every child out. Okay.
Yeah. So in the late 1970s, early 1980s, cases of toxic shock syndrome rose sharply in the United States. The spike was linked to a newly introduced high absorbency tampon brand called Relay, and it was produced by Procter & Gamble.
Oh.
The product used synthetic materials, and that created the environment for the bacteria to grow more easily with the Relay tampon from Procter & Gamble. It led to toxic shock syndrome, which is a rare, potentially life-threatening condition that we're all afraid of. By the 1980s, there were hundreds of reported cases and dozens of deaths, primarily among menstruating women. And in 1982, a federal jury found Procter & Gamble negligent, leading to a $300,000 award in a wrongful death lawsuit.
That's so little money, but I feel like back then it was probably a lot.
Other brands, including Playtex, were also faced with lawsuits, and one of the cases resulted in $10 million in punitive damages.
Ooh. For one person?
I don't know if it's a one person or if it was like a group.
All the people.
Yeah. The Relay tampon ended up being pulled from the market, and the FDA increased the regulation of tampon labeling since then.
How don't we know it?
Yeah, we are aware.
Read it word for word.
Even though I don't know the symptoms, I know
it was
there.
just like I might die from doing this.
Now, from the 2000 onwards to today, this makes me feel more positive because I always say I feel like we're becoming a little bit more progressive and inclusive as a society. And if advertisements reflect how we feel socially, then at least since the early 2000s, we've gotten more progressive over time.
Yeah, we're in the US, we're pretty prudish about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. So these are a few ads from the 2000s. This first one is 2010, and this is called the Kotex Gets Real ad. It features a mother and a daughter walking along the beach, and the daughter asking her mom if she could ask questions about her period. And then, because of censorship around periods on television, the mom talks about it in confusing metaphors. It's a commercial that's poking fun of the censorship from television. The ad initially had the word vagina in it, but then it got flagged and banned in US networks, so they replaced it with down under, but they still weren't happy about it, so it got removed after 2 weeks. So this was in 2010.
I love the sass behind the script then. I love it even more.
It was really funny. The next one is going to be the Thinks Period underwear subway ad from 2015. So this was ads on the subways in New York. There was a lot of controversy over these. They ended up going viral because they were considered provocative, but they just used food to promote their period underwear. But
Okay.
it was like feeling shitty on your period. I like that they're pointing out like the double standard of it. This ad was in 2015. The next one is a blood normal ad, and this is an ad from the UK. This is the first time blood is shown in a period commercial. This was in 2017. The reason why that got a lot of attention was obviously showing period blood for the first time. But it was the shower scene with the blood like dripping. Everyone's like, oh my God, realistic.
Yeah.
So that's why that one was
Great. Deal with it.
yeah. And then the last one is the I'm On campaign. This is Pink Parcels, which was a UK menstrual product subscription service. They're not around anymore, but they created an I'm On ad, which featured Carrie Jones. Carrie Jones was a 23-year-old male model, but it was the first time the perspective of a trans man was represented in menstrual product advertising.
Sorry, did you say what year this was?
2018.
Okay.
So
We've made large strides in a very short amount of time.
I get a lot of period product ads now for like menstrual cups, at least on social media.
Yeah.
And I do think we are more open to talking about periods than any other time period, as we can
Right.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought this was a really cool rabbit hole to go down to because I like the fact that advertising mirrors the social norms and also shapes the social norms. Like it shows that stigma and taboo are changing too, which we love.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for the quiz?
I guess so.
Woo! Okay, quiz time. These are just going to be things that we've mostly learned, okay?
Okay.
Question 1. Which menstrual product collects blood instead of absorbing it? A. Period underwear. B. Menstrual cups. C. Tampons. Or D. Pads.
B. Menstrual cups.
Yay! Menstrual cups. That's correct. I wanted to include this question because, yes, there's a difference between absorption and collection. And that's something you should take into consideration when choosing which menstrual product you want. Next question. What major event helped accelerate the development of disposable menstrual pads in the early 1900s? A. The Industrial Revolution. B. The invention of plastic. C. World War I. D. World War II.
It's actually C. World War I.
Yes. World War I. Nurses would use cellucotton bandages during World War I. And that's what inspired the modern day pad. Third question. What became a key selling feature in mid-20th century menstrual product advertising? A. Sustainability. B. Pain relief. C. Hormone balance. Or D. Discretion.
D. Discretion.
Yep, that is correct. Once everyone knew what a sanitary napkin was, they were like, okay, well,
Now keep it a secret.
let's keep it a secret. All right, and then the last one, question 4. On average, how much would a menstruating person spend on pads or tampons over a lifetime if they use standard disposable products?
At this rate of inflation?
I'm going to give you the assumptions that I use. I'm assuming the average period, like the 5 days.
Okay.
I'm assuming 12 cycles per year and then 40 years of menstruating.
Okay.
What is your...
My guess is D, between 7,000 to 8,500.
Okay. The answer is actually A.
I
20
just lost my status as valedictorian.
You miss one occasionally. It's fine.
Yeah, which you didn't teach me. I was just trying to
Yeah, this one wasn't on any information that you learned.
I'm actually saving money.
This is just based on doing a mathematical calculation and the average cost of pads and tampons in California.
And yeah, women are paid less than men.
Right.
Yes.
So I just assumed that a pack of 24 pads is $10 and that a pack of 36 tampons was also $10. For pads, I assumed 5 pads per day because you have to change it every 4 hours, but then one for like overnight. So 4 plus the overnight one. So you would use about 25 pads per cycle. So that would be coming out to me $5,040 in your lifetime for tampons. We're assuming if you change your tampons every 6 hours, if you're using 4 tampons per day in a 5-day period, that would come out to $2,688. I rounded up there. But if you use a menstrual cup,
what if you have as many as you?
then you're fine. You're set for life.
Yeah.
The menstrual cup is around $30 to $35 per cup. I'm basing this off 35. But if we replace it every 5 to 10 years and it's a 40-year lifespan, you use around 4 to 8, you would roughly be spending about $140 to $280 in your lifetime. So you do save money when you use a menstrual cup or disc. But this does not include panty liners, overnight flow specialty products, backups, pain medication, heating pads, replacement underwear, doctor visits, lost wages, or taxes in any states that it apply. So those are also things that you have to consider. Yeah. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So expensive. All right. And that was it. Thanks for coming to class today, specifically to you, not just the people.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Did you learn anything new?
I feel like I learned a lot. I didn't know about the World War I invention of like the tie to pads. I also didn't ever think about like when the device of the tampon was created, like the technology for that, and that no one was interested in buying it. That's where is the capitalism? So yeah, I learned a lot. It was really interesting, and I love that like a woman took over and was like, no, there's something here, and this is also seems even from like the ads, this is a very like women fighting for women here. So I love that.
What did you learn from part 1?
Oh, I learned what a disc was because I didn't know that existed.
And the expiration dates.
And I learned that they can expire. Is it listed on the box?
Pads or tampons? I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
I should check. I don't have any.
Because I certainly can't keep track of that. That was great. Thank you.
That's the Bell class. Have any questions about human sexuality? Submit them to our anonymous form linked in the show notes. Thanks for joining this lesson. Make sure to follow Abroad Sex Education so you don't miss the next lesson. Your homework? Share this episode with a friend, because the best way to destigmatize sex is to talk about it. And if you're ready for extra credit, grab our free Essential Sex Conversation workbooks by signing up for our newsletter. That's it for this lesson. Class dismissed. Bye!
Bye!